Hello, everybody. Ready for another day of drafting. Got some couple days worth of news to go over today. Everybody. So I just get this set up real quick. Alright, so gonna do a $1 draft to get us started. And then we'll follow it up with a $20 draft. That'll be our main event. Try to win $200,000 in that. We like to go over Twitter news first. See what's happening in the baseball world. So let's go ahead and get queued up for this $1 draft, and then we'll go over the news. If you guys want to join me, it's just this $1 best ball draft on DraftKings. I use these as practice, but first place wins $5,000, so not too shabby. But really, we like to do these drafts as practice and just get a ton of drafts in, so we can practice for the $20 one. So let's go ahead and get it going, and then we'll dive into some news. It looks like it's going to fill pretty quick. Alright, so let's take a look at some news. A lot of these are just the RotoWire updates to get started. So Chandler Simpson's expected back. We aren't really drafting him. He had the hamstring pop up. Just doesn't seem like a super exciting player with not a lot of pop, but curious to see if you guys like him or not. He makes sense in a normal fantasy league for the stolen bases, but Ivan Herrera aims to return Tuesday or Wednesday. Rodon faces hitters Monday, so he's making his way back. Haven't really been drafting him much. Churios is fine. Buxton's fine. Quan had a 2-homer day. I haven't been drafting him too much, but if he could actually get some pop, that would be pretty interesting. I think I drafted him yesterday once. But Stowers slated for spring debut Saturday. Just good to see him getting healthy. Haven't been drafting him too much. He's been falling, so might be a decent time to start taking him. Durbin expected to play third base. Okay, I think that just means he's insured a starting spot. We were kind of already drafting him like he was. Savage throwing simulated game. Saw some people getting pretty nervous about Savage. I haven't been drafting him much. He fell 20 picks to me in one big draft. I think that's the only time I've taken him. I'm curious to see if his price starts to fall. So I'll probably try to avoid him for a few days to see if that happens. Hunter Green, we finally got an update on. Looks like he's out until July. You guys know I was stopped drafting him once the injury news came out, waiting for an update. And this is kind of what we feared. And so I will continue to... Going to be continuing to not draft him. Because he could come back in July, or he could not. And he could come back and not be himself. There's just too many question marks. And I already have a bunch of shares of him, so... Looks like we got the 7th pick here. Lindor fields grounders Tuesday, so he's making his way back. No setbacks is mainly what we're looking for there. Josh Lowe hitting minors games this weekend. We haven't been drafting him. He's a super injury-prone guy with already having an oblique injury. Feels a little risky, but he's basically free at the end of the draft, so maybe if he's getting healthy, could mix him in. Snell throws off bump to standing catcher. Okay. Drake Baldwin's having a hot spring. Let's see. Drake Baldwin's double in today's 8-run second had a 110 mile per hour exit velocity. Baldwin has put 15 balls in play. 8 have had an exit velo of 100 plus. So probably want to start mixing him in a little more. I always find it hard to draft catchers because their volume feels riskier. But he's basically free at the end of draft, so might be a good one to mix in, maybe on our Brave stacks. let's see. So Glass now had a nice outing, A- stuff. That's one of the highest stuff ratings I've seen from these new pitcher list charts. We've been drafting him, so that's just a good sign. All right, so in the first 2 rounds, I'm trying not to reach too much. This is interesting. We kind of predicted that Julio might flip Skubal in ADP. Looks like it might be happening, so that's good news for us. We've been waiting on drafting Skubal, so hopefully that flip fully happens, and then maybe we'll start taking him there. I think that's a good spot because I do want to get some shares. I'm not full out on him. I just don't like drafting pitchers so early, but I know I need to mix them in when I can. So pick 7. Well, of course we have pick 7. So I think I'll still draft him after Julio. So of course that's the decision that happens. We'll go with Julio. Just think he makes sense after those like guaranteed stud outfielders. I might even put like Tucker ahead of him, but he won't fall that far, so maybe this is a good spot for me to start drafting him. Alright, what other news we got? Oh, Sasaki had... Oh, yeah. Sasaki had a nice outing today, but it was just like against White Sox minor leaguers. But I saw a quote that said Roberts basically like guaranteed he would be in the starting rotation to start the year. So if he has an opportunity, you just never know. So I probably should start mixing him in. But even so, if he's going to be starting, like what would be his innings limit? I don't know. I just don't really see the path for him like in best ball this year. But maybe we mix him in when we can. It would feel pretty stupid if he turns out to be a stud because we know he's talented. And the Dodgers can develop pitching, kind of. So, There's another Stowers tweet. DeGrom had a good outing. We've already been targeting him. Kind of speculated that his price might rise with Hunter Green being out. But I haven't really seen it yet. So we'll keep drafting him where he's at. So let's see who falls to us. Alright, so I love Churio here. But I also do like taking kind of an anchor infielder here. I really try to get 2 outfielders in the first 3 rounds, so we'll be forced into outfield in the next round, but I'm okay with that. So it really comes down to these 2 infielders. We'll just go with Kurtz. Keep it simple in the first 2 rounds. And then let's finish up the news, and then we'll lock in on this draft. Alright, so DeGrom looked great. Ha-Seong Kim hurt his hand. I don't think it's a big deal. Actually, I haven't read this yet. I shouldn't say that. Stealing base. Don't really know yet, but I haven't been drafting him, so probably continue to pass. Cam Smith is heating up. Kind of want to start mixing him in on my Astro teams. Dead center, that's pretty nice. Lindor optimistic for opening day. We've been buying the dip on him, so that's good. Joe Ryan returned to the mound. He did not record a strikeout, and the whiffs were uncharacteristically low for him. They're just saying that might be due to rust, but something to keep an eye on. I mean, his health is probably most important, but if he's struggling coming out of an injury, it could be a little scary. Sometimes that's like an indicator that the injury's lingering. Maybe he's came back a little too fast, so might want to wait for one more start from him. Okay, so since we got Kurtz, we definitely want to go outfield here. Curious to see if Caminero starts rising up the board with his super hot series. We were fading him, and that looks like that may be a mistake, so I kind of want to start trying to target him when I can. But it may be too late. But alright, so we're definitely going to go outfield here. I don't have a major preference of these guys. I'd be curious to see what you guys like out of this group. I actually really like Merrill, Rosarina, but their ADP's higher, so I'm more likely to get them back around. I guess we'll just go with ADP for now. But I don't have a strong preference between these outfielders. I like to go ADP just because that helps me spread out my exposure. And that way I'm not just going all in on one guy when I don't have a very strong preference. So I would love another outfield here on the way back. So let's hope some people pass on outfielder. I just feel like it's a pretty solid teardrop after Suzuki. So if we get one of these four, we'll go for it. We won't be reaching for Ward or anybody. Okay, there goes Merrill. Rosarina coming back would be nice. Get that Seattle stack. I could have gone a Rosarina here, but I don't like to reach for my stacks early. I like to let them fall to me early, and then I'm okay with reaching for them late or targeting them late. But looks like we should get an outfielder here. Okay, looks like we get a Rosarina. That's pretty exciting. That's another reason why we don't want to reach for him. Because this will allow him to fall to you. So take a Rosarina, go with the double Seattle players, and filling out the outfield pretty nicely. So there goes Suzuki. Okay, let's finish up the news. And let's see. So Framber Valdez struck out 6 batters over 4 innings against the Rays. Looks like his stuff didn't get a great rating, but I think we know who Framber is at this point. It's more just about health with him, and I like him this year. Haven't been drafting him too much just because where he goes, but not against him. Corbin Carroll to DH in a game tomorrow. That's pretty exciting. We've been pretty much drafting him at the discount. Where did he go today? He was back up to 8th today, so I wonder if his price will start to rise again. That'll be something interesting to track, but if he falls at all to us today, we definitely want to take him. Yuri had a nasty outing. Struck out 7 in 3 innings. We've been targeting him a lot, so it's good to see. I wonder if his price will start to rise with the A- stuff rating there. 40% CSW. Crazy. Here was the quote on Sasaki. Robert said, "I don't see a world in which Sasaki doesn't open the season as a starter." That's pretty interesting. But again, for Best Ball, when the payout's so heavily weighted towards the playoffs, like realistically, how many innings will they give him? I don't know. He just feels so risky. But he's basically free. Be curious to see if you guys are drafting Sasaki. Like, how many innings did he pitch last year? 36? Like, yeah. I don't know. Alright, let's see here. So, Devers would be exciting at 55. I don't love going 4th outfielder quite yet. I don't mind it here, but I prefer to wait a little longer. Honestly, I don't hate it here. But I think we'll take the value with Devers. We don't have a lot of him. It's that note. And he appears to be getting healthy. But I wouldn't be against the fourth outfielder here, actually. But we'll go Devers, pick the value. And then either... So we got 3 outfielders. I'd like to get a pitcher in this tier as my SP1. But there's a lot of guys I like, so I'm okay with waiting. Don't think I would pass on Yelich if he came back. Yeah, I think I'm okay with 4th outfielder there. I don't like going 4 outfielders to start. Just feels a little tough to catch up at the other positions, but I think 4 out of your first 5 is okay. But that's a nice value on Devers. That's got to be one of the furthest he's fallen. Alright, so we're hoping for a pitcher on the way back. There went most of them. Raggins is next. This is where I was considering, maybe in my rankings, DeGrom's kind of part of this tier now. So I maybe should be considering him here. But I wouldn't mind Mike Trout as well. I think we'll go Raggins here. Could see Trout being a nice pick. But we already have the 3 starting outfielders. I like trying to get one of these starting pitchers here. We'll go with Raggins. Alright, one more time through the news here. Maybe I should have given us a little more time for the news on the coming off the weekend. Alright, Robbie Ray completed 4 innings. Walked 4, got the F on locations, B- on stuff. I think we kind of know what Robbie Ray is at this point. Roman Anthony had a massive homer. We've been targeting him. We love to see that. Oh, yeah. Good to see. Garrett Cole touches 97 miles per hour in live batting practice. Haven't been mixing him in yet, but it's a pretty good sign. Maybe we could start. I did see that Westberg was fielding grounders, but I don't know. With a torn UCL, I don't think I'd be drafting him, but it's just an interesting injury to track because, like, if he is out for the year, then like Kobe Mayo's more interesting and those guys. But I won't be drafting Westberg for now. Cool. We're starting to get in some repeats. Here's the Mayo hit a homer. I don't want to start mixing him in, just in case. Highly regarded prospect might get a chance. So, all right, let's focus on the draft now. Let's get rid of the news. But let me know if there's any news that I missed. Probably was. All right. So where are we at here? 1, 2, 3 is our setup right here. All right. Let's see. So I'd only take infield if there's a pretty big value. I do like Soderstrom. Doesn't look like any outfielders fell. I kind of wanted to get back into mixing in Valdez a little more, so I wouldn't mind Valdez here. I think it's Valdez or Soderstrom for me. Okay, they're both available. Soderstrom would be a stack with Kurtz. I don't like to change my drafting strategy too much for stacks in baseball. Decent value, though. I also don't like filling up my infield this early, but we'll take him. He's a stack with value. We can also, since we passed on the pitcher, we can start gearing this towards an 8-6-6 build, especially since we have all 6 starting hitters. So we'll probably end up going 8 pitchers on this team. Maybe Valdez will fall back. Crazy to see Caglianone's price is just solidly in the 80s here now. Really glad we kind of bought in on him like right when the hype started, because we had several drafts where we were still getting him after pick 100. It's really helpful to be tracking the daily news in Best Ball. You can really get ahead of some of these things. Goes Butler at 85. I'm going to be fading him for a while. I drafted a lot of him, but I'm a little nervous that there's no news yet. There goes Valdez. There goes Cease. It's going to be a tough pick here. I don't want to go infield again. This is why I don't like going infield that early, because now I'm going to have to pass on a round value of Riley. I mean, we could take him. I think I'd rather go Bradish, though. So let's take a look at what just happened here. So, yeah, see, that's a tough call. That's why maybe Framber was the better pick here. We could have gone Framber into Riley. We like Framber a little more than Bradish, which feels a little safer. So maybe that would have been the better option. I think I get a little excited when I have the stack at a value. Plus, I like Soderstrom, but yeah, I think that could have gone either way. All right, so want to be getting our 4th outfielder here soon. What's Stanton been up to? Yeah, he had a homer the other day. We've been fading him. There was that report that he couldn't open up a bag of chips, but he's like, I'm playing through it. So that scared me, and I kind of thought it would lower his price, but it did lower a little bit. But still a little nervous about him. All right, we like Kirby here. Could see Yuri's price start to rise with that strong outing, and I would consider outfield here as well. These two are nice kind of 4th outfielders if you don't necessarily need upside. Like, we already have our locked in studs, so they could be a nice 4th outfielder, but I'd rather take Kirby here, and hopefully one of them falls back to us. I guess that means we're not going to get Yuri, probably. I guess unless both those outfielders go. But since we have the 3 infielders, I'm going to be waiting as much as I can until there's just like a crazy value that I can't pass up. Even Jacob Wilson, who I like, I don't know, that would be the 3rd A's infielder. I don't know if that's too much for a stack, but so hopefully pitcher or outfield. Not against going pitcher again. Especially if it's Yuri. There goes Jacob Wilson. This guy went like heavy A stack here. And goes Yuri. Quan went. Goes Stanton. So there's no infield value now. It's interesting. So good thing we got our 3. So yeah, pitcher or outfield. I do like Schlittler, but I would think I'd rather get my 4th outfielder. If we already had 4, I would go pitcher. But I don't mind Reynolds here. Fits the build nicely. We already have 3 upside hitters. He should be able to fill in nicely on those down weeks. Let's look at some of these notes. Laureano. Just fatigue. Moniac. Illness. Okay, we don't care about those. All right. So we're at 3, 3, 4. So probably pitcher or outfielder again. I wonder if we could have taken Riley. Now, I mean, of course, hindsight's 2020, but we're trying to prep for the $20 drafts. But like, I'm not sure. Okay, so pitcher or outfield here. Not dying for any of these outfielders. Probably just go pitcher. Hopefully Burns or Glass now. Looks like we'll get one of them. Here goes Burns, so we'll take Glass now. I think that's fine. Okay. So our 4th pitcher, we got 4, 3, 4. Okay. So could start dipping our toe back into infield here. Oh yeah, Torkelson got hurt. I think I missed that one. Hit on the right forearm. Forearm. I mean, unless it just cracked, like, which we'd probably know, like, right away, right? But there could be, like, a hairline fracture or something. If it was, like, the hand, that would be scary. I don't know. Maybe we avoid Torkelson just to see if his price drops. And I do like these outfielders here, so maybe we get our 5th one here. We already have 4 pitchers, right? Okay, 4 pitchers, so... I'd be curious, you guys like Moniac or Cruz? I kind of like Moniac more. Curious to see what Underdog thinks. Moniac 182. Wow, they hate Moniac. That's crazy. I didn't know they did not like Moniac that much. Be curious to look at their projections. That might be a fun one. Okay, so there goes Michael King. I love Bubba Chandler. Is this my, Alright, so we gotta wait for our next pick. How many pitchers? Kinda wanna go Chandler, actually. Might regret this. Let's try going a little pitcher heavy here. I really like trying to get as many of these, of this tier as possible. I feel like these pitchers compared to the hitters, like, these pitchers are all, like, pretty much slightly proven that they can pitch a full year and have strikeout upside. And in best ball, those 2 start weeks are so important. Like that group versus like down here, It's just so many more question marks. But maybe the right pick was 5th outfielder there. But I feel like with Reynolds as our 4th, I felt kind of safe to wait. But we'll see how that works out. Might have to get one of these guys as our 5th. Wow, I'm seeing the Ravens backed out of the Max Crosby trade. That is crazy. Sorry to talk about football. One of my best friends is a Raiders fan, so. All right, where are we at? So 5-3-4 now. So either, oh man. Okay, so maybe we take Moniak now that he fell back to us. We were thinking about him at our last pick. So this feels pretty good. This was a nothing injury. You guys know I love these pitchers, as I just said. But what do we have? We have 5 pitchers, so I'm okay going Moniak. So next pick will be one of these 2 pitchers, or I think we start getting our infield bench going. Be okay with the value on Altuve. We really like Murakami. I think he homered today. Well, he's been having a rough World Baseball Classic. Ooh, still on base though. All right. So pitcher and outfield looking really strong. I will say infield is starting to feel a little lighter in the late rounds. Now that Stewart's moved up, McLean's moved up, Christian Walker seems to get picked a lot now, who I like. So we might not want to get too cute with outfield or with infield. But if Bibby's there. All right, wow. So there's Will Smith or Bibby. I think maybe I will go Will Smith. Pretty good value. Yeah, we'll go with him. If we already had 4 infielders, I definitely would have went Bibby. But having Will Smith as our first bench infielder feels pretty good. You don't want to wait too long for your 4th. There goes Bibby. So let's take a look. So our pitching staff is Raggins, Bradish, Kirby, Glasnow, Chandler. Okay. I know we said earlier we're going to do 8-6-6, but I think it's still on the board with how the rest of the draft went to go 7-7-6. We'll have to see how the rest of our infield gets drafted. If I get a couple of, like, for sure bats like Barger, Christian Walker, then we can still go 8-6-6. There goes Christian Walker. Chapman's another guy that underdog is way higher. 111 versus like Berger. 193. That is crazy. Sheehan could be a nice pick here as well. Chapman is a stack with Devers. How many pitchers? 5. I want to get one of these 4, but I can probably just get one of these on the way back. And Barger will probably be gone. I think I'm just going to go Barger. You guys like Barger or Chapman? I just feel like he has more upside. Like Chapman, we know. Like, you know what Chapman's going to do. But Barger could still hit, like, a lot more homers, I feel like. Still has some upside there. So that was our 5th infielder. Wouldn't mind McLean. Chapman on the way back could be fine. There he goes. Wouldn't mind Doyle as a 6th outfielder. Stacked with Moniak. Really like Kowser just in general. DeLauder. Saw some good pieces on Crawford, but I don't know. Maybe it might be a year early on Crawford. Goes Doyle. I think we can wait on our last outfielder. I think we'd have to go Sheehan if he fell. Or McLean. I'm okay with either of those. See if we get him. Alright, we'll take Sheehan. Nice little value on him. So yeah, I think we're good to go 866 again. If you look at the infield, we had the 3 early picks, Kurtz, Devers, Soderstrom. And then we backed it up with 2 pretty much everyday players. Barger, I mean, I'm just curious. Roster Resource probably does have Barger in a platoon, huh? Yeah, but that could change. And then Will Smith is pretty consistent. So I'm okay with that as a bench. Let's see what 6th infielder we get. Especially if we get like McLean. Swanson's pretty consistent. Ooh, or we could go McGonigal and go 7 infielders. Let's see who's available. At this point for the pitchers, these guys all feel like about the same to me. I call it the dart throw tier. So I don't really feel any need to rush to get them. I prefer McGonigal on like a team where we really need some upside at infield. But screw it. Let's take him. I mean, if there's news that he's gonna break camp with the team, he's gonna fly up boards. Obviously, I don't see a big difference between him and Connor Griffin, who goes 102. But I do think we go 7-7-6 now with that pick. What do you guys think? 8-6-6 or 7-6-6 here? Or, I'm sorry, 7-7-6. Okay. So maybe we go with our last outfielder here before the exciting ones go. There they go. This is when I need to be looking at stacks a little closer. A's don't really have any outfielders. Giants, not really. Dodgers, Blue Jays, Tigers, not really. So we'll just take our favorite guy. Alright, do we get him? Alright, cool. I think we like Cowser here as our 6th outfielder. I think he's a really solid pick here. I mean, he should be guaranteed playing time. He's still a young hitter. Was a good prospect. And compared to the other guys around him, like, these guys aren't even guaranteed playing time. So I've been drafting a lot of them. And then we'll go with our 7th infielder, I think, and then last pick, pitcher. Should probably be mixing in Weatherholt. Tovar is a stack with Moniak, but I kind of already have a lot of him, and he's not like an amazing hitter. But he has had a 25 homer season, so I'm kind of back and forth on him. But he also had like a 75 WRC plus last year, so. It's Kobe Mayo. We could mix him in with Cowser. No Cole. So Tovar or Mayo makes sense. Looking for other stacks here. Jeff McNeil? That's not very exciting. I think I would like to go Tovar. We already got McGonagall. That's the whole reason we're drafting the 7th. And Tovar should be a little steadier, a little safer. Leading off for Colorado. Should net you some points. And hitting second, I guess they have him now. Which is crazy to me. Has anyone drafted Jake McCarthy yet? Take Tovar. I can't bring myself to do it, even though he's going to be, like I just said, leading off for the Rockies. But he's platooned. But strong side platoon. But, like, what's McCarthy's best year been? Oh, my, yeah, alright. Yeah, I'm not drafting him. Yeah, I think I'm good. Alright, so let's queue up some pitchers. And then we'll get in that $20 draft. Try to win $200,000, so. Alright, Cody Ponce, Burrows, Max Myers. I saw Soriano had a good start. Be curious to see what your guys' favorite targets are at the end of the draft here. Such a crapshoot. Bryce Miller's coming back. But I think I'm still going to wait. Maybe one more good news from him. We'll start drafting him again. And I think I'm okay with this order here. Let's go ahead and get in the lobby for the main event here. Hopefully we get a little more time in between drafts. I want to look at some things. $20. So is this one right here if anyone wants to join me? 200K to first. Alright, cool. Looks like we should have some time. So Cody Ponce, Mike Burrows, Max Meyer. And this is why I call it the dart throw tier. Okay, we'll just take Cody Ponce. So I ended up going 7-7-6. Let's go ahead and review the draft here. Because remember, we want to be practicing for the next one. So that's kind of the mindset we want to have. What could we have done differently to make the draft go better? So we went Julio, Ed Escobar, and let's just recap the team. So at outfield, we got Julio Rodriguez, Riley Green, Randy Arozarena. Backed up by Brian Reynolds, Mickey Moniak, Colton Cowser. Feels pretty strong. At infield, we got Kurtz, Devers, Soderstrom. Backed up by Will Smith, Barger, McGonigal, and Tovar. And at our pitching staff, we got Raggins, Bradish, Kirby. Backed up by Glasnow and Chandler, and Sheehan and Ponce. So curious to see what you guys think about that team. Not sure. It's a little different than I normally go. Just some different players, but I think it's a pretty solid team. I really do like going 8 pitchers, though, I will say. So that would have been like maybe Bybee over Will Smith. Would have been nice. Especially since we ended up going 7 infielders, but Will Smith at 18 picks of value is nothing to scoff at. Especially as our first bench infielder, so. Yeah, I think I like it. Alright, looks like this will fill pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at our exposure. Try and see what pick we want, who we need to be targeting. So I'm trying not to fade anyone too much in the first 2 rounds. Just the way this contest works. Comes down to the playoffs, so you may be confident, that, I don't know, Julio's better than, I don't know, Tatis, or let's do it the other way. Tatis is better than Julio, but can you really predict that he's going to outscore him in that 1-2 week period? Not really. So I think it's just better to have a nice spread up here at the top and then make your plays in the later rounds. So I'm not fading any of these guys, remember. So I just would love a number 2 or number 3 pick. I just have never been getting them. Honestly, any of these picks would be great. I get freaking 8, 9, or 10 all the damn time. So would really like to avoid these picks. So I guess we're hoping for like top 5 would be nice. And again, I'm not really fading Vlad. It just hasn't worked out. I guess I've been going for Churio a lot because you guys know I love drafting outfielders early, and I do like Churio. I think that's just the reason why some of these guys are in the red. And Caminero I want to be targeting, especially on this side of the draft. He could be an interesting candidate for a unique build. Maybe like Tatis, Caminero over here would be pretty interesting, because Caminero never falls all the way down here. So if you have one of these outfielders with him, it's a unique build. I had a comment saying they liked, because I'm in on Roman Anthony, so a nice unique build could be Tatis, Roman Anthony. I like that a lot. I think maybe I want to do a unique build stream, maybe on Fridays or something. I'll start doing that. But I like that. That was a great idea. Tatis and Roman Anthony. Tatis and Caminero could work, but we'll do that another day. I like to build up kind of like a portfolio of these guys first, and then we start going into unique builds, because still got, what, 2 more? Damn, we only got 2 to 3 more weeks of drafts. It's going fast. Alright, let's see what we get here. Top 5. Catch up on some more news while we wait. Let's see, Wu had a really nice outing, although D+ stuff rating. It's surprising. The comments on that. Oh, his velo was down quite a bit today. It's That is one thing that we want to be paying attention to in spring training. Not necessarily results, but velocity, exit velocity, that type of stuff. I haven't seen anything else come out about him. This was yesterday, so maybe he was just, maybe he wasn't going 100%. You just never know. Looks like it was down about a mile per hour, 4-seamer. So that's a little bit something to keep an eye out on, especially with how high he's being drafted. This was another note on Savage, maybe not pitching in spring training at all. Guessing to save his innings. The Blue Jays want him to make 2 more starts after the Blue Jays sign Cease. There aren't enough rotation spots for Savage. Yeah, he just feels very risky. I haven't been drafting him, but he did fall 20 picks to me and I took him. But kind of maybe regretting that now. We'll full fade him for now. Jaren's been on fire. Been drafting him. Logan Henderson, elbow soreness. Just going to be completely avoiding. McGonagall still tearing it up. See if there was more news on Torkelson. Alright guys, one more spot. Get in here, this is the one. Torkelson was removed from simulated game. Yeah, nothing new there. Benj has been on at a really nice start. Probably need to be mixing him in. Just saw Steer hit a hard ball, but his hardest hit since 2023. That is a very good sign, something we always want to keep an eye on. But he feels squeezed out of Cincinnati lineup right now. But he's such a utility player that I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in more than he's out. The Reds are just a very hard lineup to predict at the moment. Already saw Corbin Carroll. O'Neill Cruz is 4 very hard hit balls, or I guess 3, and 4 PAs. We haven't been drafting him. A little afraid of the skills, but can't deny the upside. So maybe we'll start mixing him in as like a 3rd, 4th outfielder. Especially because I've been going at least one infield early. So he might fit my teams again. McClanahan's stuff did not look very good. People are pretty worried. This is a good tweet. Pretty worried about McClanahan's movement. It's down from the raw 2023 values, which is even worse when you adjust for the drop in velo. So I think I'm mostly not drafting him for now. And looks like our $20 draft has started. What did we get here? Alright, pick number 6. I mean, I don't hate the pick, but kind of right on par with where we are for Schwarber. 40 would be average. So we'll probably just go Schwarber. Unless someone else does something fancy here. I'm excited for these two to flip. Because we kind of predicted that. And then I'll start drafting. Oops. Alright, so is anything exciting gonna happen? Would be fun for Witt to fall to us. But unlikely. This was Mayo's homer. Weatherholt's had a good start. Alright, let's get out of this so we can focus. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Trying to win $200,000. Will Schwarber be the guy? Ooh, Judge won. It really doesn't matter in the draft too much, but it just doesn't make sense to do that if you're drafting a ton of drafts, because then you're full fading Ohtani. Do you really want to do that? But if you're just doing like a couple drafts and Judge is your guy, then I totally get it. But we're drafting in bulk, so it doesn't make sense for us. And that's why we keep it pretty simple in the first 2 rounds. Because if you're new to best ball, you kind of end up with a portfolio of players rather than, a couple teams. So looks like we got Schwarber as expected. Alright, so that lines us up. I don't mind an anchor infielder here, especially if one falls. This will most likely be outfielder if we can get one. But this is not a guaranteed outfield pick. This can be. But I also wanted to line us up maybe if Caminero falls. I don't think he's fallen to 30 anymore though. After his run. It's at 26. Probably won't happen. Skeens goes at 10. Ooh, someone did the unique Roman Anthony build. It's really cool. Ramirez, Roman Anthony. Kind of like that. And then you can go outfield, outfield. This guy went 2 pitchers. So weird. I mean, there's been data ran that shows this is not a good build, but kind of glad about that because I don't know if I would be drafting Crochet at 19. Would have been a close call, so it's okay. Don't love Cal, but if he falls, I should probably just take him. You guys know I love Churio. So those are probably the 3 for me. And looks like we're going to get... Man. Part of me wants to go Churio. But I'm just stacking up Churio shares. But, I mean, I do like him. It's crazy how young he is still. But over Cal, am I really going to pass on the guy who hit 70 homers last year. It's kind of two thoughts here. I'm not guaranteed to get that third outfielder with Suzuki. What's my Cal exposure? 42. That's not bad. We'll just go Churio. And probably regret it later. I kind of feel like Cal has been falling a little. But honestly, I'm just trying to justify it. It's funny, I talk about not reaching, and then of course I reach. I'm mostly telling myself not to reach. But if I was like, if I had like only $10 of Cal, I probably would have taken him there. But I've had an average amount of him. And generally, in these $20 drafts, Suzuki does not fall to 43. That was my main mindset there. Would be awesome if one of these two infielders fell, but I doubt it. PCA is down to 26. We were kind of hoping he would fall before we start taking him. Alright, we just need one guy to pass on infield here. Shit. Come on, don't do it. Don't. He already has an infielder. Come on. Really hoping for Caminero here. Don't do it. Come on, you gotta go outfield. Let's go! We got fucking Caminero at 30. Love that for us. That makes the Churio pick look really good. Been meaning to target him. We mentioned earlier today. We just haven't drafted him at all, and I was afraid his price is gonna rise because of the tear he's been on. But he falls 4 picks to us here. That's exciting. So now I'm really happy I went Churio. And I'll still hope for an outfielder on the way back. And if not, can see if Hunter Brown's available, or I'll pick up our second infielder. But I think we are still hoping for an outfielder. So that's a good pick to see there. Still Yamamoto's on the board. You think this guy goes 3 pitchers? Oh my god. Alright then. Didn't even take Yamamoto. Wouldn't recommend doing this. There's been numbers ran and just no one's been able to be successful with this build. Someone's gonna get a nice discount on Yamamoto here. And if it's this guy, he's gonna have a super unique team. He went outfield. So these are the ones we're looking at here, hoping one of these falls. Very unlikely. Okay, he went infield. Yamamoto would be fun. I would go Yamamoto first, but will he make it past T-Red? Who knows? There he goes. It's a pretty cool team there. Tatis, Ellie, Springer, Yamamoto. Yeah, that's really strong. I like that. So still 2 outfielders on the board. All right, just need one guy to pass. This guy desperately needs an outfielder. This guy could pass, though. Lindor a little early, but he's getting healthy. All right, so hopefully a Rosarina. If not, okay, so Rosarina went. That's not the end of the world. I think I've been liking Brown here. I think this is a fine pick. Let's see, what else could we consider? Olsen. You guys know I don't like filling up my infield too much too early. It's going to be a lot of value throughout the draft at infield. So we'll just go with the pitcher. I like Hunter Brown here. We still need that third outfielder, though, so... Wouldn't mind Yelich, Ward, or Teoscar here. There goes Yelich. Ah, shit. Actually, that would have been... I mean, I wouldn't have taken him here, but... If Yelich would have fell to 54, that would have been really exciting. But that's okay. We can get our stacks late. So, let's see. So there's still Ward, still Teoscar. Curious where, like, Underdog has Teoscar. Ward, 41, Teoscar, 52. By Yelich. Yeah, that seems about right. Wow, a lot of infielders going here. I think we like to see that. I'm also not against... I know Wu had velos down a little bit, but I don't know if he needs to drop 6 picks immediately. You guys know I love Fried. There's no infield value. Ward would have been really nice. I wouldn't mind Teoscar. So I think it's Wu or Teoscar. People freaking out about Wu? I doubt it, right? Interesting. So Wu would be unique. But I think my team's already pretty unique with Caminero at 30. You guys know I hate falling behind an outfield. Not sure if that's the right pick. Would you guys have just taken Wu there? I just hate falling behind an outfield. Makes the draft so hard. And there's like plenty of pitchers that I like. And maybe Wu will fall a bit with the velo down. But either way, we like one of these pitchers on the way back as well. And Sale. And the outfielders at 67 feel like a tier below Teoscar. Be like Stowers maybe. Hap, Yeah, I think that was a fine pick. You guys know I love taking value, but there's like a fine line of like value versus team need. I think that was a decent spot to go team need. If we would have already had 3 outfielders, would have been okay going Wu there. But, so that feels good for the outfield. Oh yeah, I already have pitchers, so this isn't a guaranteed pitcher spot. It can be pretty flexible here. If we get infield value, we can take it. Probably wouldn't go Trout, even if he falls, so... I would love Fried or Peralta. Maybe Suarez. Maybe Perdomo. Let's get the board up. So there goes Nimmo. So you can see the outfielders getting reached for here. And there's one. Goes Gilbert. Fried or Peralta would be really exciting. I just need one guy to pass. Come on. This guy has 2 pitchers already. Needs an outfielder desperately. Come on, pass on pitcher. Shit. I really wanted Fried. That would have been exciting. This guy could go either way. Gotta start preparing for him to take my guy. We could go... Okay. We'll just go Peralta. That feels nice. Yeah, I like that a lot. So that feels really good. I think we made the right call passing on Wu. Because we got Peralta at 9 pick value. And there were no outfielders available that we like. So, really like this draft so far. Let's try not to fuck it up. So any infield value that falls to us is going to be really attractive. Sometimes these guys do fall, so we'll keep an eye out. Still want that 4th outfielder by around pick 100. Actually might consider that here. I do like these guys, Happ and Adele. So unless there's a really good hitting value, it's probably what we'll do. There's probably no reason to go pitching again. Even if DeGrom's available, tag him just in case. That's our only option. There DeGrom goes. So we're thinking 4th outfielder or infield value here. I'd really like Adele. I think Adele would be really nice here. Goes Happ. Sweet. Wow. Look at that. Top of ADP, one of our favorite players, 4th outfielder. Love this draft so far. Alright, so stacked outfield. Just need to fill out infield and pepper in pitching here. That's like my favorite thing to do throughout the draft, so really like the start. I don't want to wait too late on infield, so let's try to get a good one here. Curious to see what infielders you guys like from this group. I've been reaching for Rice. Honestly, over Abrams and Bregman. How many stacks here? Not really. So let's hope people pass on infield here. There one goes. There goes Butler in the same spot as last draft. So random. But okay. Alright, that's good. These are people are taking outfield here. This guy needs an outfielder. Still doesn't take one. This guy needs an infielder. If he passes, that'll be real nice. Our options here. Yeah, it's going to be infield for us no matter what. Unless these guys go 3 infielders. Alright, he went pitcher again. So we should get one of the 3 infielders we like. I think my order would be Bush, Rice, Abrams. Curious what Underdog has on Rice 79 versus Abrams. Yeah, they agree with me, so there goes Bush, that would have been nice, and there goes Abrams, so don't even really have to make a decision here. I could see reaching for Turang for the stack, but maybe he'll fall back to us. And we like Rice, so we'll hope he falls back to us and just take Rice. Alright. So I got our second infielder. Wouldn't mind that third one here as well. This would be a nice little... There goes Turang right after my pick. So maybe Turang was just the pick here to pair with Churio. What does Underdog have Turang at? 98. So still like a round after Rice. Kind of like 2 rounds, but been drafting a lot of Rice. There's a lot of upside in that Yankees ballpark and lineup. Alright, so want to keep attacking infield. Maybe we'll take Goodman. Just look at that drop off. Haven't been taking him a bunch, but it's going to be a good spot. Don't think I need to go 5th outfielder yet. And don't love these pitchers, so I think we just go infield here. Awesome. Okay, Goodman falls. That would have been tough if he went. This would have been a reach for Garcia here. But doesn't matter too much. We'll take Goodman. I haven't drafted him a bunch, so I like this spot for him. Lock in that 3rd starting infielder. Is this like actually his stats? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like DraftKings stats are just wrong on like half their players. 31 homers. 34 homers. I've never seen like stats just be wrong. Be curious if you guys know why. Or what I'm missing. I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't see how he gets to 36. I know the Rockies didn't make the playoffs. So what were his actual stats? 278, 31 homers in Colorado. It's always scary to draft catchers, though. He had 39 DH. Yeah. But we needed an infielder. It's a good spot for him. So now we want to get back into pitching here. It'll be interesting to see how far Savage falls. Just going to tag some pitchers we like here. And we can still go 4th infield, and I think 5th outfield is open now, so we'll see if any values fall. And it's probably time that I start looking at stacks as well. Well, I don't see any in this range. Do have the Yankee stack, so Grisham could be an option. See if any values fall. I'm kind of undecided on what position to go here. So we might go with best value at one of the guys we have tagged here. But Eovaldi might be a nice pick. I don't mind fifth outfielder here, but we are still kind of weak at pitching depth, so maybe we better hold off. Unless, I guess, Eovaldi goes. Could reach for Glass now. Like Jacob Wilson, that'd be a little bit of a reach as well. There goes Savage at 113. There goes Quan. So it's Eovaldi or Grisham for me. I think we'll go Eovaldi. I haven't drafted him much. I have nothing against him, so it's a decent value. Decent time to take him. I haven't taken Grisham much either. But we have a strong outfield. We'll go with Eovaldi. This is a really nice base across the board. So pretty much any position's going to be open for this next pick, which is always what you want when you can. And we know there will be some infield values later, but still want to get our first bench infielder. If Grisham falls with us, that'd be really cool. Otherwise, Wilson will be an option, or we go back to pitching. Get the board up. So a lot of pitchers going there. Goes Jacob Wilson. So probably won't go infield. Nothing against Story, but he's not really a target, so I try to only take him at a value. You guys worried about Grisham losing playing time this year? It's like, is there a chance like Dominguez comes up? They have him platooning with, I guess, Grichuk? Guess we'll take him. We haven't been taking him a bunch. I don't think I've taken him at all, really. But at a round value, it's our fifth outfielder, and he's a stack. I think that feels like the right time to take him. And now we're going to be into the tier where we like to target pitching heavily. So I'm just going to tag all these guys that I like here. Can think about Snell on this team. I mean, we have three pretty much like, alright, pretty safe, knock on wood. Starting pitchers here, so Snell could fit this team. I can see that. I generally like to go 8 pitchers when I go Snell, though. But that's still a possibility. But and let's just tag some infielders that we like as a fourth infielder. Goes Okamoto. He's one of our favorite infielders in this range. Contreras would be nice on this team with Churio. Damn, there goes Chandler. He's one of our favorite pitchers in this range. But there's a lot of options, so it's okay. This guy went for all the hype guys. Caglione, Burns, Okamoto, Chandler. Alright, let's see what pitcher is available. I think Cabrera's still available. This guy's probably going to go pitcher. Should go Ray? Okay, cool. I was going to ask about Ray or Imai, but we'll go Cabrera here. And honestly, we'll probably double tap pitching. And hope an infielder falls. But I like to get as many of these pitchers as I can. They just feel so valuable in this format. But I think maybe Snell should be like after Bybee, maybe. I put Bybee ahead of Castillo just for upside in this type of tournament. Let's see, some of the outfielders are falling here, but I think we gotta wait on outfield, especially until after that pitching tier is gone and after we have our 4th infielder. So hopefully those outfielders go. We have 4 pitchers. So I think I definitely want another from this tier. Let's see how many we have left. Here goes one of them. Shit, we only have 3 left. So let's hope these people pass on pitching here. Goes another. Only have 2 left, and Castillo's not my favorite. Let's see if we can get one. Okay, there goes Chapman. So we need 2 people to pass on pitching. I guess technically 1, but I really want Bybee. Okay. Well, we should get one of the 2 of them. If it's okay, cool. I'm gonna say if it's Castillo, we should at least look at the infielders. These are not bad picks, but I love stacking pitching here. So next pick will definitely go infield. Still like a lot of these guys. And then, depending on who we get, we can determine our build. It's going to be an 866 or a 776. We definitely waited on infield, so it might be a 776. Sal Stewart up to 154. He's another guy we started attacking as soon as the hype started. I think he was picked 200 plus, and very glad we did that because his price has changed. Because Murakami, that would have been a nice fit. I saw Contreras went earlier. He would have been a nice fit. Both Contrerases went. What do we have left? Honestly, I like Pena at this price, so hopefully he falls. But Will Smith would be nice as well. Otherwise, we're going Barger again. And then maybe let's look at stack players for the late rounds. Alright, really hoping for Pena or Smith. So just need one of these guys to pass. There we go. I think we'll take Pena. Should be about as cheap as he's going to be all tournament. And if you think back, this contest has been live for a month, so there's a bunch of teams that drafted him at like pick 100 to 110. So if he's the guy you need, then... And he should be healthy for the playoffs. I mean, he might start the season on the IL, but we have 3 good infielders to start the year, so I think it's a good pick. It's quite exciting for late season upside. Which is what we want. There goes Cole. That'll be one to keep an eye on now that we got the good velo report. His ADP was 180 going into the day. So I will probably go infielder again. I don't think I could pass on Moniak if he fell back. This is our 6th. Wouldn't mind Doyle either. We have this stack with Goodman. So we could go Beck as well. So some options there. There's still a few pitchers before the dart throw tier. And if we get one of these, I'll definitely be okay going 7 pitchers. So there's a lot of options here. Barger, Doyle, or one of the pitchers. I mean, this would be nice value too. There's a lot of options here, honestly. Goes Doyle. Wow. Alright. I guess we'll take Will Smith. That's really exciting. Okay. So that's 30 picks of value on Will Smith. And that's why we wait on infield. So really glad I went pitcher here. Definitely the right pick since Pena and Smith both fell. If we can get one of these pitchers on the way back, that would be nice. Take Abreu at the value. I don't think we need to reach for Beck. We like our outfield. This could also be a Dominguez team. Here goes Abreu. But honestly, if we get Barger or Walker, then we can go 8-6-6. But I do like these pitchers. This is going to be a tough pick here. So one of those pitchers or another infielder. I think this pick probably determines if we go 8 or 7 pitchers. There goes Baz. Honestly, not sure. You guys know I like Barger, but we did get Smith so late. Maybe the pitcher makes more sense. There goes Barger, so that makes it a little easier on us. Still 2 pitchers we like, and Walker we like as well. But I really only like to get like 1 dart throw pitcher. I mean, if you're stuck going 2, it is what it is, but I like to avoid it when you can. Okay, so we'll get one of the pitchers or Walker. I like Nola more. I think we just go Nola. Pitching is so valuable in this type of tournament where 2-start weeks are very important. So we'll go Nola. He's also like I said, that's kind of the end of the tier. Like these guys are have way more question marks. So okay. So could still go 7 or 8 pitchers here. Curious what you guys would go. Would you guys go 8-6-6 or 7-7-6? Pitching staff is Hunter Brown, Freddie Peralta, Eovaldi, backed up by Cabrera, Bybee, Nola. That feels pretty strong. And then we waited on infield. We got Caminero, Rice, Goodman, backed up by Pena and Smith, who both fell 20-plus picks. It's a close call, honestly. Maybe with Pena being banged up, maybe we should go 7 infielders. And we didn't get our 3rd one till pick 100. I think that's probably the way to go. Would love Walker here. Otherwise, we could go with our last outfielder. Beck and Dominguez or Stacks. All right, interesting. So we'll take Walker here. That's also stacks up with Pena. And he's another 20 picks of value, so this is why we wait for infield. So I think we'll see what infielders are left. McLean's already gone. McGonagall's gone. Swanson's just like save points. Tovar's a stack with Goodman. Yeah, I'm really not sure here. I think since we got the value on Walker, we could still go 8 pitchers. So if Pena's out to start the season, our bench should just be Walker and Smith. I don't know if that's enough. Goes Dominguez. Alright. We like Cowser, stacked or unstacked. It's always Willie Castro for the stack. I don't know about that. So if one of these two outfielders are here, we'll take our last outfielder. It's also Spencer Jones for the Yankee stack. He's not going to start the season in the majors, but we do want to be drafting for upside in this format. So maybe if Beck goes, we can pivot to Jones. Kind of fits the team, the strong outfield team. As maybe just a late season flyer. Queue up some pitchers we like. Okay, so I don't have to get Tovar. We already have 6, right? Yeah. I think we just take an outfielder we like. I could see Beck or Jones. I think we just go Beck. It's a little safer than Jones. It says they already optioned him back, but it's kind of expected. I guess he struck out at 36% rate in the minors last year, so maybe he's not quite there yet. But it said he had a pretty good walk to strikeout ratio in the minor or in spring training, so maybe an upside pick is better there. Especially because we like our outfield a lot, but we went with the stack. Alright, so now for sure one more pitcher, maybe 2, or maybe a 7th infielder. Do we go full Rocky stack with Tovar? I think that could work out. We got Nola as our 6th pitcher. If we didn't, I would want to go 8 pitchers. But I think Nola protects us there. So maybe we'll go with the 7th infielder. Are there any other stacks that you guys like with these teams? I know Schwarber we could go Stott. Maybe that's the play. I kind of like that more. I have a decent amount of Tovar already. So I think we'll do that. He's also gonna play every day. Should be a nice floor pick. I guess both these guys are. But Tovar is a much worse hitter. So he probably has a lower floor when they're on the road especially. But, I mean, we're drafting for upside, so it is what it is. But we're taking Stott. Pair him with Schwarber. I haven't had the opportunity to draft him too much. And he's been hot in spring, so. I think that note just said he's supposed to platoon. I didn't think that was the case, though. What does roster resource say? Yeah, they do have him platooning. It's pretty interesting. With Edmundo Sosa. How bad were his splits last year? How do we even get there these days? Oh, it's been a minute. Here we go. Oh boy. Alright, maybe he is a platoon guy. Woo. How many ABs was that? Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's good to know. I thought he was a little safer than that. But it is what it is. Alright, so last pick will be a pitcher. Let's queue up some that we like. Curious to see what pitchers you guys like in this range. They're all pretty similar to me. I think I like Ashcraft, Savali. I've been going a lot of Ashcrafts. I should probably switch it up. But I don't know how. I'm gonna go Savali anyways. I also don't trust the Angels. So let's just go Ashcraft. Alright, let's review that draft. And that'll probably be the last draft of the day for me, but it was a good one, I think. Alright, so what do you think? Is this good enough to win 200K? So outfield we got Schwarber, Churio, Teoscar, backed up by Adele, Grisham, and Beck. Feels pretty strong. Two like sure studs with spots 3 and 4 with honestly pretty solid power guys. I mean, these guys should both hit 30 plus homers. And then this then the fifth spot is Grisham, pretty solid power on a stack. And last spot is Beck, who's a stack. And the infield is Caminero, fell to us, Rice Goodman, backed up by Pena, Smith, Walker, Stott. And the pitching staff is Hunter Brown, Freddie Peralta, Eovaldi, backed up by Cabrera, Bybee, Nola, Ashcraft. So, feels pretty good. I always like going 8 pitchers, though, every time. But, so maybe I need to start doing a little more. Probably would have worked out here, but it would have just been another dart throw pitcher. Because I really like all these other picks. Pena was value, Smith was value, Walker was value. So I don't think I would have went another pitcher earlier. Maybe we didn't need Grisham, but he was a stack and a value, and I don't have a lot of them. So really like this team. Had a ton of value picks on players we like. So I'd be curious to hear your guys' thoughts. But I think that'll be it for me today. Probably do the same thing tomorrow, same time, if you guys want to join.